Chapter 4, A Maple Scout. Tiger Lily took her time after leaving Violet's house. She thought about the badge and how easy it was going to be to earn it. Friendship was one thing she was good at, and Violet was right. They didn't need anyone else, especially not a Maple Scout. Tiger Lily touched her friendship bracelet and made a solemn vow to never speak to a Maple Scout. Tiger Lily was so busy thinking, she didn't notice the maple helicopter whizzing by her head until it spiraled to the ground in front of her. Tiger Lily bent down to pick it up when she heard a voice behind her squeak, "Hey, that's mine!" Tiger Lily turned around and found herself face to face with the Maple Scout. Here was the enemy right in front of her. What should she do? In a panic, Tiger Lily took the helicopter and threw it as hard as she could, but it only went a few inches before flopping to the ground. Lily felt her ears prickle. The Maple Scout just laughed, picked up the helicopter, and expertly flung it. The helicopter soared high through the air and landed near the sandbox. Tiger Lily couldn't believe it. "How did you do that?" she asked. "I'll show you," the Maple Scout said. He scampered off to the sandbox, and Tiger Lily ran to catch up with him. Soon they were running neck to neck. Tiger Lily lunged forward at the last second, just beating him to the sandbox. She picked up the helicopter and handed it to him. "Thanks," said the Maple Scout. He took the helicopter, held it for a moment, then slowly threw it. The helicopter soared smoothly from his hand. "See, you don't have to throw it so hard. It's all in the grip," he said, then trotted over to pick it up. When he got back to where Tiger Lily was standing, he held out the helicopter and said, "Now you try." Tiger Lily tried again, not quite so hard, and this time it went a little farther. She kept trying until she could throw it almost as well as the Maple Scout. "Not bad for an acorn scout," said the Maple Scout, laughing. Then he held out his hand and said, "My name is Thorn." Tiger Lily hesitated. He seemed nice enough, even if he was a Maple Scout. He didn't smell, and so far he hadn't eaten any worms. He was even polite. She shook his hand and said, "I'm Tiger Lily." Then she threw the helicopter again. It soared through the sky and slowly spiraled down near the bird bath. Tiger Lily and Thorn ran side by side to pick it up. When they reached the bird bath, they climbed up it, swam across, then climbed down again. They ran along the top of the swing set and slid down the slide. They climbed up the statue of the first mayor of Left Meadow, then dug tunnels in the sandbox. Thorn and Tiger Lily played in the park until it was almost dark. "That was fun," said Thorn. "Can we play again tomorrow?" Tiger Lily beamed. "Definitely." Tiger Lily started to walk away, but Thorn shouted after her. "Wait," he said. "We had to make friendship bracelets in Maple Scouts, and we're supposed to give one to a new friend. Can I give you mine?" Tiger Lily's heart swelled. She reached into her pocket and pulled out the extra friendship bracelet and held it out for Thorn to see. "We did too," she said. They tied the bracelets on and examined them. The bracelet that Thorn made had loose strings everywhere. It looked a lot like Tiger Lily's. Thorn looked at Tiger Lily's and laughed. "I thought you acorn scouts were supposed to be good at crafts." Tiger Lily gave him a playful shove and raced him to the park entrance. She won the race by a whisker. That night, Tiger Lily wrote all about Thorn in her friendship journal. She never would have believed it, but not only had she made a new friend, he was also a Maple Scout. Mouse Scout Handbook, A History of the Maple Scouts. The Maple Scouts were formed by a mouse named Alder, with the help of Hydrangea and Daisy, the original founders of the Mouse Scouts. One day, Alder was searching for some food for his young family. He attempted to dislodge a piece of cheese from a mouse trap, but his timing was off, and snap! Alder's right arm was pinned in the trap. Alder was sure he was a goner, but as luck would have it, a pair of acorn scouts found him. They managed to free Alder from the trap. Then, using their first aid skills, they made a splint for his arm out of old toothpicks and a tie twist. One of the scouts made a sling from her neckerchief. The scouts helped Alder home and brought food to his family while he recovered. Alder was so impressed, he made a point of thanking Daisy and Hydrangea personally. He was intrigued with the concept of scouting and was surprised to learn there were no such organization for boys. Under the auspice of the Mouse Scouts, and with the encouragement of Hydrangea and Daisy, Alder formed the Maple Scouts. The Maple Scouts proved to be very popular. Soon, a young group dandelions, was formed, which was the equivalent of buttercups. As Maple Scouts grew older, goldenrods, the equivalent to sunflowers, were formed. When dandelions, maple scouts, and goldenrods meet separately and earn their own patches, they often work in conjunction with the buttercups, acorn scouts, and sunflowers.